Sheil Kapadia of The Ringer. Sheil, welcome to the show.
How we doing, guys?
Oh, dude, we're doing great.
What up, Sheil?
I'm on video, I can see you guys. This is amazing. I feel like this marks a new era in me being a guest on the afternoon show here.
Well,
so as I'm looking
welcome to the show.
Yeah, as I'm looking, it looks like you're standing. Are you a stand while you do this stuff, guy? I am. Are you?
Absolutely. I got to stand. The IT band issue for over a decade here. Too much sitting is the new smoking. At least that's what influencers on Instagram tell me. So that's generally where I take my life advice.
Stand up, Ike.
Dude, I'm with you.
Should I be standing?
Dude, I have IT band problems in my right knee, too.
3 out of 4 on this show right now have IT band problems.
There you go. All right, Sheil.
I don't even know if I got all types of other issues.
Yeah, you do. We're all old, so I don't know if standing makes you not old, but welcome, Sheil. So, Sheil, a lot to go through here before we get to Kansas City. Including your thoughts on the Cowboys-Eagles game. I guess let's start with the offense. Offensive performance. What did you think having rewatched it?
Yeah, I thought it was very good. They only had 7 possessions in that game, so I think some of the final numbers were a little misleading where you said, all right, they scored 24 points, but usually in an NFL game, you have 10 or 11 possessions. So I thought the opportunities that they had, they made the most of it. I thought Jalen Hurts made good decisions. I thought he was a huge factor, obviously, with his legs. And there's going to be some stuff to work on, which I'm sure we'll get to here. But overall, I thought that was a good way to start the season.
Are you coming out in defense? That sounded like defense.
What's that?
Like defense of Jalen before he needed to be in defense
yes,
of Jalen.
yeah. I think he's supporting the Jalen performance on Thursday night.
Were you going to attack him?
Was I going to attack him?
Well,
No.
really worried about that?
I thought it was a good performance from Jalen.
Okay.
I think some people have gone a little. We had Ross Tucker on. We didn't have the morning show.
I gave him an A also.
The morning. Oh, you gave him an A. The morning show. Ross Tucker said it was the best game he's ever played. I was like, I feel like a psychopath. There's no way it's the best game he ever played. He played fine. He played good. That's what I have.
Yeah. I mean, the Super Bowl performance. There are a lot of games I would put above it. I mean, I think one of the things you look at it. And it's fair to say, all right, is it sustainable to scramble for 5 first downs every game and be that much of a factor with your legs? Is it sustainable to only have 1 explosive play in the passing game? So those are things you can nitpick. Now, I thought there were reasons for all those things, and I thought he made good decisions. But yeah, I was with you. I think we've seen him be more prolific, and I think he's had a lot of good games. So I wouldn't put it way up there, but I thought it was a good start.
So let's get to the passing part of it. So we actually just played a cut from A.J. Brown, who said, I was not a decoy. I'm not hurt. The reason that there wasn't any separation is because they zoned me up the entire time. So I guess the question is, I understand all of that, but they're going to see zone defenses all year long because they haven't been as good against zone defense. So if you're Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts, how do you find a way to get AJ and Devontae involved if teams are going to defend you that way?
Yeah, I thought you had to do more stuff. I'm in favor of just manufacturing touches to A.J. Brown on the first, second possession every single game. I want that guy invested. Good things happen when you get him the ball, whether it's a screen, whether it's a little slant. So I think it's true what A.J. Brown was saying, but I'm with you. If it were that easy, every team would just do it every single week. It's not that easy. Zone coverage in the NFL is the predominant way teams play 70, 80% of the time, a lot of these teams in the NFL. So I think you have to do things schematically to free him up. I thought there should have been more opportunities to take shots to him downfield. They like to line up really heavy with tight ends, and then they were kind of just running the ball out of that. I would have liked to see a little play action, move those zone defenders, and then create some windows downfield for A.J. Brown. So I do agree with them. I think there were times in that game where they called his number. You can see it. He was Jalen Hurts' first read, but the way the Cowboys were covering it, if Jalen Hurts would have thrown the football, it would have gotten intercepted. So I put it more on the coaches. Come on, find ways. This is what you're paid for, to scheme up touches for your best player.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that, Sheil. Kevin Patullo, first game, I was not necessarily impressed with a lot from a schematic standpoint. Be interested to see what it looks like Sunday going up against Spags, who somewhat knows this offense, which brings me to, Sheil, the running game part of this offense. The last 2 outings in the running game, including the Super Bowl, they've sort of bottled Saquon up, and the explosive runs weren't there. Is there something defenses are doing? Now, I would just say they're stacking the box, but it seems that it has to be more than that, right? Is there something that these defenses are doing now that's sort of bottling Saquon up?
Yeah, for the Chiefs, I think part of it was they would kind of line up with two deep safeties and then move one safety closer to the line of scrimmage right before the snap, or they would move their linemen right before the snap. So all of a sudden your blocking assignments maybe get messed up a little bit. I thought in week one, I think Landon Dickerson is obviously playing with an injury there. Tyler Steen doesn't have a ton of experience. So I just thought they were a little bit off. And then the big thing to me, and something to keep an eye on this week, is when Dallas Goedert's off the field, the Eagles tight ends kind of get blown up in the run game. I mean, this goes back to last year when Dallas Goedert was injured and you saw the run game maybe wasn't as effective those games. So if Goddard's injured this week, Grant Calcaterra is fine for a number 2 tight end, but some of the things they asked him to do, they didn't work last week. I mean, it got ugly. Some of those plays got blown up. So I think they have to be a little bit more creative. Maybe they run more out of 3 wide receiver sets or do something else, because I think that will be an issue again this week. Again, if Dallas Goedert is out, or even if he's limited in this game.
Sheil Kapadia with us of The Ringer. So defensively, I know we won the game, and you look at the final score, and the Cowboys, scored 21 points. But, man, it just seemed like Zach Baum played well, Jahad Campbell played well, but aside from that, the defensive performance was pretty concerning to me overall. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, I would agree with that, with the only caveat that I feel like Vic Fangio has earned the benefit of the doubt this is going to take some time for him to learn his personnel, a lot of new faces. And I wouldn't give any coach the benefit of the doubt there, but given what we saw last year where there were struggles early in the season and then they figured it out late, I do think he's kind of earned that. But I'm with you. I mean, it was not a good defensive performance. I think cornerback 2, the way the Cowboys were able to just manipulate some of those matchups and get CeeDee Lamb on Adoree Jackson, we saw that over and over again. And then there were some plays that Adoree Jackson is getting beat on, but you look at Dak Prescott's pocket on those plays, and there is nobody near him. I mean, they're trying to use a 4-man pass rush, and those guys were not close enough to Dak Prescott. So as we know, it's all connected, the pass rush, the coverage, but I'm with you. I want to see what it looks like this weekend against Mahomes and Andy Reid, because if Brian Schottenheimer can scheme up those matchups, then Andy Reid is going to be able to scheme up those matchups and really test Adoree Jackson early in this game.
And Adoree Jackson was as bad as it felt, right? I mean, like he didn't play, it wasn't just bad luck, or it wasn't just they were picking on him. It didn't look like he is up for the job, at least in week 1.
I thought he had a tough time. Yeah, I mean, and it wasn't just the CeeDee Lamb snaps. I mean, there were other times where they had Turpin, their number 3 wide receiver, and they're going at him, and he's kind of stiff arming Adoree Jackson down the field. So he's not the most physical player. I think when he was in his prime, kind of the coverage skills were really good, and so that's what you're looking for. He's not going to be a perfect player, but you expect him to kind of force some tougher throws than he did in week 1.
So the Chiefs lose the first game. The last we saw the Chiefs was the Super Bowl, where they got obliterated by the Eagles. And we were talking yesterday, everybody gives the Chiefs the benefit of the doubt. At some point, that will stop if they don't, if they don't look good anymore. And even the regular season last year, they won a bunch of games, didn't look great. When you watch that first Chiefs game, what are you seeing out there? Are you seeing a team that just might not have enough talent anymore? They got eviscerated defensively, and offense, it looks like everything is difficult for them.
Yeah, I think the floor is high. I'm not predicting they're going to win 7 or 8 games, but to your point, they don't look like the best team in the AFC. They don't look like one of the best teams in the NFL. They made changes on their offensive line. They've got 2 new starters on the left side, including a rookie. They didn't do a whole lot with their wide receiver group, and it's just not a great group when you look at it, compare it to some of the other great offenses in the NFL. So that's offensively. And then maybe the bigger concern for them in week 1, at least, was defensively. I mean, they got lit up by Justin Herbert and that Chargers offense. They put up 394 yards. They went up and down the field on the Chiefs secondary. So yeah, I think they're a little unsettled right now. Yeah, I don't know if there's stuff coming off of that Super Bowl and they thought, all right, we'll come back next year and it's going to look different. But I looked at their offseason moves and thought, I don't know that this is enough for them to look like a different team this year. So it almost seems unthinkable that Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid could go 0-2 to start the season. I believe this is only the second time in Mahomes' career that they're an underdog at home. I think it's only happened one other time in 2022. So, yeah, they're kind of in a weird spot right now early on in this season.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it, Sheil. Because I know Andy, and I know how this thing, you give him extra days to prepare, and now he can use the underdog card and that whole thing. Yeah. Usually a big jump is made, Sheil, from week 1 to week 2 around the league in general, right? No one plays in preseason, so things look choppy and sluggish that first week. Then the second week, things starting to tighten up a little bit, and you start to get to see who you truly are as a team. I say all this to say, do you expect the Eagles to come out and be a little more crisp, a little more explosive, as opposed to what they were last week? And I know they made some plays, but it wasn't the offense we saw last year. And then from the Kansas City Chiefs standpoint, do you expect them to look more like they did last year versus what they looked like last week?
Yeah, I would think so for all the points you laid out there. Now, the Chiefs play a little bit more in the preseason, and Andy still runs one of the tougher camps in the NFL, from what I understand. But, from an Eagles perspective, I like that. They got to be more explosive in the passing game. When you see the plays that the Chargers made downfield last week, I think you're going to need those more this time around, especially when you look at how the Chiefs defended the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and they said, we're stopping the run. This is not going to be a Saquon Barkley game. If Jalen Hurts can beat us through the air, we'll live with that. And Jalen Hurts beat him through the air. And so, that was only 2 games ago. It was a long time ago, but it was only 2 games ago. So I don't think the Chiefs are going to drastically change what they do just from their approach and what they're prioritizing defensively. So I think the explosive plays in the passing game are going to be a big, big deal for the Eagles. I would take a shot to A.J. Brown really early in the game, maybe line up with 2 tight ends and go play action and take a shot to him downfield. I do think the Chiefs will be a little more crisp. Week 1 can lie to us. There's no doubt about it. We look back through the history of the NFL and some of the things that happened in week 1, you look back week 10, 11 and go, how in the world was that the result of a week 1 game? So I'm with you there.
Well, remember the Saints last year? They looked like they had the best running offense of all time the first 2 or 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah. Scored like 100 points the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was crazy. So Sheil, you instructed Jack to keep track of your wins and losses
bad
for
move
picks.
By me.
Now, I'm looking at Jack. He doesn't even.
No shot.
It's unbelievable.
Who'd you pick last week?
I believe he picked the Eagles to cover.
The Eagles last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, you took them to cover though, didn't you, Sheil?
I did.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Spread. We're adults here. We're not just picking straight up. So yeah, I'll take the L there. Although I am tempted to lie since we know Jack's not going to keep track.
Well, I'll keep track.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's just going to make Spike.
I'm starting a Google Doc. Everyone take it down.
All right. Okay. So, Sheil, what do we have the line at now? Eagles 1.5. Is that where it sits? So, all right, Sheil, give us your pick that maybe Jack will record, maybe he won't.
Yeah, I think a lot of this game is going to sort of look like last week, where maybe it goes back and forth a little bit. Maybe defensively, they're picking on some of your inexperienced players or your weak spots, and the Chiefs are going to be able to move the ball. But I look at it from a talent perspective, and I do think the Eagles have the edge here. And I remember talking to you guys last year early in the season. I keep trying to predict, all right, they're going to lose this game. And you know what? I'm tired of trying to predict when this team's going to lose. When Jalen Hurts is healthy, when A.J. Brown's healthy, and when Lane Johnson's healthy, they don't lose a lot of football games. I think they're 38-9 with Jalen Hurts the last 3 years when he starts and finishes a regular season game, which is wild.
That's elite winning,
Sheil. A lot of quarterbacks that have a similar record.
Winning.
Everyone relax.
So, yeah, it's incredible. So I think it's going to be a close game, come down to the fourth quarter. But I think this might be a weird season for the Chiefs. And I'm going Eagles 26, Chiefs 23. Ooh. Eagles cover the 1.5.
All right.
I like it.
We'll see. Do not give Sheil the sheep noise. Sheil's not a sheep guy. Come on. That's
your boy Jack, Sheil. That's Fritz.
Jack found the new sound effect. He's just dying to use it. Sheil is not a sheep. I don't believe Sheil's a sheep. All right, Sheil. Great job. We will talk to you next week. Thanks as always.
All right. Good to see you guys. Talk to you next week.
All right. And there he is, Sheil Kapadia of the Ringer.